Hello everyone, I'm Kallol Dahal and in today's class we are going to learn about magic mirror and if I was a superhero from chapter 14 of grade 8 English. So let's begin.
Hello students, welcome to the new class and today we are going to start unit 14. So let's begin. The magic mirror. It was told throughout the kingdom of Granada that the king was ready to marry. He would marry the most worthy girl of the land. First, the news was told to the court barber, then to the night watchman, and then to all the old women who sold fruits and clothes at the market. The king also announced that he would give a good sum of money to anyone who found a suitable bride for him. The night watchman shouted the news in such a loud voice that all the young ladies were woken up. Hearing the exciting news, the old women constantly reminded the young ladies that the king had decided to marry. Everyone asked, "How will the king choose a wife?" The barber replied, "I am afraid I will have great trouble finding a worthy lady for the king." "What, you?" they questioned. "What have you got to do with helping the king find a wife?" "I am the only man closest to the king," said the barber, "and I have a magic mirror. If any dishonest girl looks in my mirror, spots of her dishonesty will appear in her reflection." "Is looking in your mirror one of the conditions to marry the king?" asked all. "That is the only condition," replied the cunning barber. "And what about the age?" they asked. "Any lady above 20 years is eligible," said the barber, "but each girl will have to gaze at the mirror with me by her side," he said. Although several ladies wanted to become the queen, they never dared to gaze at the mirror. Days and weeks went by. The king was no closer to getting a wife. Some ladies would try to convince their friends to go before the mirror, but none were brave enough to try. Every morning the king would ask the barber if any young lady had come forward to look into the mirror, but the answer was always the same: no. Many watched the barber shop to see if others went inside, but none had been brave enough to taste their fate. "Ah, is there no maiden in this land who wants to be my bride? In other lands, kings have no trouble finding a worthy young woman to marry. Why is this happening to me?" the king asked the barber. "Your Majesty," replied the barber, "there is one chance. There is a lonely shepherd girl who lives by herself far away on the mountain side. She may be brave enough to look in the magic mirror, but would you marry a girl of such low birth?" "Call her," answered the king. "Let the shepherd girl look into the mirror after you have told her what may happen if she dares to look." Soon after, the barber brought the young woman to the court. The whole kingdom filled the royal hall to see the girl. When the girl entered the hall, she felt very shy. The king was very pleased with her appearance and received her kindly. He reminded her that if she wanted to be his wife, she would have to gaze at the magic mirror. He said, "If you have done something wrong in your life, there will be dark spots on its surface." "Sir," replied the young lady, "everyone makes mistakes, and I am not an exception. With all due respect, sir, I have no great desire to become the queen, but I am not afraid to look into that magic mirror." Saying this, she walked up to the mirror and gazed at it. Soon after, all the women who were present surrounded her. When they saw that the magic mirror showed no stains on its surface, they snatched it from her, passing the mirror back and forth from one lady to another. They shouted, "Look, there is no magic in this mirror. A trick has been played on us." But the king said, "No, ladies, you have only yourselves to thank. If you had been as confident in yourselves as this young lady, you might have been the queen." So this is the end of this text. Let's go into the exercises. Match the given words with their meanings. Kingdom, a country ruled by a king or queen. Merchant, a person whose job is to buy and sell products. Surround, to be everywhere around something. Convince, to cause someone to believe something or to do something. Pleased, happy or satisfied. Now, put these sentences in the order they appear in the story. The king promised to give a good amount of money to those who would find him a bride. Then the barber would have to tackle a lot of problems finding a bride for the king. Many girls wanted to be the queen, but none dared to look into the mirror. Every day the king asked about the progress. The barber suggested a shepherd girl to the king. The shepherd girl was present in the hall. And then finally, the women present in the court knew that they were cheated. So this is how the story goes on. So we have just rearranged them into the order that it happens in the story. Now let's go to the next exercise. Read paragraphs 1 through 10. Write whether these sentences are true or false. If the information is not given in the text, write NG. A watchman conveyed the message of the king early in the evening. This is false because the night watchmen, they shout at the top of their lungs and waking up everyone else. So this was conveyed late in the evening. So this is false. The woman's dishonest character would be reflected in the mirror. According to the given text, yes, it would be reflected there, but we found out later in the text that it was false. So we can regard it as false. The girl interested to marry the king must be in her 20s. This is also false because the king says it explicitly that it can be any aged girl or woman. Many wanted to be queen, but none wanted to look into the mirror. True. The king found a suitable candidate at once. False. He had to wait for a long period of time. Kings in other states were also facing the same problem as that of the king of Granada. This is false because the king says that other kings can get the wives easily, but why can't he get? So this is false. Now let's go to the next exercise. Read paragraphs 11 through 16 and answer these questions. What happened as soon as the shepherd girl was brought into the palace? As soon as the shepherd girl was brought into the palace, she was explained of what's going to happen, and then she was asked to look into the mirror. Write the answer like this. How do you know the king was happy at the first sight of the girl? We know the king was happy at the first sight of the girl because when the girl enters the hall, the king was very pleased with her appearance and he received her kindly. Next, was the shepherd girl really shy? How can you say so? The shepherd girl was not really shy because when she was asked to look into the mirror and she was explained that the mirror would show some dark spots on its surface if she has done something wrong in her life, she without any hesitation, the girl replies with, everyone makes mistakes and I am not an exception. And with that she looks into the mirror, so she is not shy. What was the secret about the mirror? The secret about the mirror was that the mirror was an ordinary mirror and it was not a magical, as was explained by the barber. What did the other ladies realize at the end? The other ladies realized at the end that the magic mirror was not magical at all. It was a normal mirror. Now read these lines from the story and answer the questions. Before we move to that part of the exercise, please remember this is your homework. Now read these lines and answer the questions as well. This is also your homework. Mark it down. Here you have to read this question. What have you got to do with helping the king find a wife? Who is the speaker here? Now you need to refer to the text and find out who the speaker here is. The speaker here is a woman. Whom does you refer to? Here you, what have you got to do? This you refers to the barber. No, ladies, you have only yourselves to thank. Who said this? The king. Whom did she or he say so? The king said so to all the ladies that were present in the hall. So this is how you have to write down the answer. Now recall a magic story you have read or heard. Tell it to your friends. You might have heard some magical stories that was told to you by your elders. If you have such stories, do share it with your friends in the classroom. This will improve your speaking. Now let's go to pronunciation. Either, or it is pronounced either as well. Schedule or schedule. Leisure, mobile. Neither or neither. Vitamin or vitamin. Multi. Dynasty. Evolution. Advertisement and advertisement. Missile. Privacy. Now let's go to the grammar section. Match the sentence halves to make sensible sentences. So half of the sentence is given in this column and half of the sentence is given in this column. We have to find out the perfect half of this column and then match it with the half given in this column. If Anjali won the lottery, she would go for a long trip. What would you do if you were in my place? I will buy some chocolates if I find a grocery shop. If they had won the race, we would have been very happy. If they don't stop making noise, I will call the police. If you drop an egg, it breaks. So now let's go to the next exercise. Make sensible sentences using the words given. Example has also been given to us. Wet, we will get if it rains it. If it rains, we will get wet. So now let's head to the exercises. Study hard will pass you the exam if you. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. Next, if you heat ice, it melts. Next, succeed you will if work hard you. If you work hard, you will succeed. She would help her if asked me I. If I asked her, she would help me. They if had invited you would have come them. If you had invited them, they would have come. Now similarly, I expect you to do the rest. Mark it down as your homework, and if there is any confusion, you know how to get back to us. Ask and answer the questions on the given situations as in the example. So an example has been given to us. What if tomorrow were a holiday? Go swimming. So one would be asking a question. What would you do if tomorrow were a holiday? And the answer is given there. Go swimming. So the answer would be, if tomorrow were a holiday, I would go swimming with my friends. So this is the case of if clauses, which are also called conditionals. Let's look at few things of conditionals which will make it easier for you. So there are four types of conditional sentences. The zero conditional, the first conditional, then there is second conditional, and the last one is third conditional. In the zero conditional, we have both the clauses in simple present. That is, look at this sentence. If tomorrow were a holiday, this is one clause. I would go swimming with my friends. This is another clause. So all the conditional sentences have two clauses separated by a comma. So in zero conditional, it will have both of the clauses in simple present tense. So these are used for simple facts, like if you heat rice, it melts. So this is present simple plus present simple, same thing. I've already given you an example. If you heat ice, it melts. Then there is first conditional. First conditional will have simple present plus will or want plus verb 1. So this means if it rains, I'll cancel the trip. So first conditional has if it rains, I will cancel the plan. So here we have simple present tense, and here we have simple future tense, will plus verb 1. So this is for first conditional. Now for the second conditional, we have simple past plus would. So this means if I won the lottery, I would travel the world. See here, it's in simple past, and then the second phrase or clause is in would plus verb 1. So this is for the second conditional. See how it changes. Here it is simple present tense, and here is simple future. But if simple present is replaced by a simple past, we would have would plus V1. So these are the things that you need to take care of. Now if you look at the third conditional has past perfect and would have. So this would be, if you had come, I would have taken you as well. So see how there is past perfect, had plus V third, and then there is would plus have plus V third. So this is in future perfect tense, past perfect and future perfect. So these are the 0, first, second and the third conditionals, which would be very, very important. So now let's see over here which conditionals we have to use. What if you found a purse? So if you found a purse, so the question would be, what would you do if you found a purse? If I found a purse, found means second conditional, I would submit it to a police station. See, so this is second conditional sentence. Now the next one, what if the weather is not good? So this is simple present tense, first conditional. If the weather is not good, I will not go out, or I won't go out. This one. Now the next one, what if I touch a live wire? If I touch a live wire, I will get electric shock. This is also first conditional. Now I would expect you to do the remaining ones. This is your homework. You can consult the rules and the examples given over here, and then write the correct answers for these two questions. Now let's go to writing 1. Complete the story with the suitable forms of the verbs given in the bracket. One day, a lamb was eating sweet grass away from her flock of sheep. She did not notice a wolf walking near to her. When she saw the wolf, she started pleading, "Please don't eat me. My stomach is full of grass. You can wait a while to make my meat taste much better. The grass in my stomach will be digested quickly if you let me dance." The wolf agreed. I expect you to fill in the blanks as I have given you the answers. While the lamb was dancing, she had a new idea. She said, "I can dance faster if you take my bell and ring it so hard." The wolf took the bell and started to ring it so hard. The shepherd heard the sound, ran quickly to see what had happened, and the lamb was saved. So this is how you are supposed to do this exercise. Now let's go to another reading portion. If I was a superhero. If I was a superhero, I would definitely fly, arms outstretched, racing birds in the sky. Superhero is anyone who has supernatural abilities. Definitely means surely. Outstretched means look at his hands. This is called outstretched, stretched outside. If I was a superhero, I would have special powers like extra strong legs for jumping over towers. If I was a superhero, I'd save all the oceans with my secret and magical cleaning up potions. If I was a superhero, I'd save all the trees and the mountains and rivers, the birds and the bees. If I was a superhero, I'd help all the poor, give them food and make them hungry no more. If I was a superhero, I'm sure you'll agree the world would be better because of me. Written by Sally Gray. Now let's head into the exercises. Okay, we have a crossword puzzle over here. Across and down. Let's begin. A special character with superhuman powers. Number 4, across. Superhero. A tall and narrow structure. 5, across. Tower. Insects that produce honey. 6, across. Insects, plural. So, bees. Having special power to make things happen. 7, across. Magical. Reaching out as far as possible. 1, down. Outstretched. 2, certainty, without any doubt. Definitely. Now the last one. A kind of liquid that is said to cure illness. Potion. So this is how you solve the crossword. Now let's go to another exercise. Fill in the blanks. Use information from the poem. The speaker wants to fly, stretching the arms. The strong legs would be used to dash over the towers, jumping over the towers. The oceans would be saved with potions. The speakers would save all the trees, dash, and rivers. It should be the speaker, as in singular, not plural. So the speaker would save all the trees, mountains, and rivers. The poor would be helped with food. The dash would be a better place because of the speaker. The world would be a better place because of the speaker. Now, if you were a superhero, what would you do? List down at least 5 things you want to do. This is obviously your homework. Now, writing 2. Read the given news story carefully and discuss these questions. Nepal begins exporting cement to India. By Satish Mishra, Kathmandu, 10th July 2021. So this is how a news story is supposed to be written. Please observe the beginning of a news story. By, name, and then where. Kathmandu, when. 10th July 2021. Nepal has begun exporting cement to India. Palpa Cement, based in Sunawal 7 of Nawalparasi district, says it has begun exporting cement to India for the first time in the country. During a function on Friday, the company announced the beginning of the export of its Tansen brand. On the first day, 3 trucks of cement have been exported. The company produces 3,000 metric tons of cement every day, according to the company's public relations manager, Jeevan Niraula. For the current fiscal year, the government has also decided to provide some grant support to the cement companies involved in the export. It has already been a few years since the country has been self-reliant in cement production. However, the export of cement had not begun. Now the source is also given over here, english.onlinecover.com. Now the questions. What is the headline of the news story?
As you can see easily, the headline of the news story is Nepal begins exporting cement to India. So you have to write the answer like this. The headline of the news story is Nepal begins exporting cement to India. What is the byline of the news story? Byline in any of the news stories will give you the name of the writer. So the byline of the news story is by Satish Mishra. When is it written? It's written on 10th July 2021. Identify the lead paragraph. So the lead paragraph means the important paragraph that is actually giving you information about the given headline, which is closest to the headline. That's the lead paragraph. So the lead paragraph in this text is the first paragraph, where it says that Nepal has begun exporting cement for the first time in the country. Now write a news story with the help of the guidelines below. Nepali youth awarded in Delhi. So these are the outlines given to us. This is the headline, of course. Nepali youth awarded in Delhi. Mohammad Irfan from Banke is the person who won the award. National Youth Icon Award 2022, that's the name of the award. A ceremony held in Delhi, so it's where. The answer for where is this. Awarded by Chief Minister of Delhi. Who awarded it? For his excellent contribution to the field of development. Why? Started career with US aid in Jumla. How did he start his career? He's a very active social and political activist for disability awareness. So his extra work has also been given over here. So now you need to write these, use these given guidelines, and then you have to write it down as the text that you just read right now. So this is also your homework. Now let's go to grammar portion of this text. Complete the sentences by choosing the correct options. If you dash hungry, I will give you something to eat. Will, simple future tense, so we have to use simple present tense. If you are hungry, I will give you something to eat. What dash if you were alone at your home? If you were. So if there is were, as in past tense, we would need to use would. So what would you do if you were alone at your home? If they had gone to bed early, they dash been late for the bus. If they had gone to bed early, they would not have been late for the bus. A snake dash you if you touch it. So this is the present tense, so let's use the simple present tense. A snake bites you if you touch it. If it rains this evening, I dash at home. Simple present tense, so we need to use simple future tense. If it rains this evening, I will stay at home. Would you walk more if you dash a pair of shoes? Would. So we just need to use simple past. Would you walk more if you had a pair of shoes? This had is past perfect. Maria would have bought a watch if she dash enough money. Would have and V third. So that means we have to use past perfect. Maria would have bought a watch if she had enough money. If I hadn't climbed up the tree, past perfect, I wouldn't have fallen. What dash if the doors are closed? Simple present, simple present. What happens if the doors are closed? Now complete the given sentence in any way you like. If I were you. Now this is in simple past tense, but with I we can also use was. Don't be confused. If I was you or if I were you, we can use both of these. So if I were you, I would do this or that. I would not do this or that. Whatever you want to write, you have to write it, but since there is the past tense, you need to use would. Do not forget this. If you call him, present tense, So you can either use simple present or use will. If you call him, he will come. I would have called your mother. Would have and V third. I would have called your mother, so you need to use past perfect. V third. Yes. If you don't brush your teeth regularly, simple present, you can either use simple present or simple future. If you don't brush your teeth regularly, your teeth will get rotten. So you can use either will or simple past, simple present, sorry, not simple past. My life everyone, sorry. So you can either use will or simple present. If they didn't hurry, there is a simple past, so now you have to use would. If they didn't hurry, they would not meet the accident. Now dash, we will play golf, simple future, so we need to use simple present over here. I can help you, comma, if I can help you if you help me, simple present, same thing. Now that's the end of the exercise for us. I hope you have understood everything. How did you like today's class? If you have any suggestions or advices, you can get back to us at learning@dearwalk.edu.np. So until the next class, see you, have fun.